We're taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. They're your tax dollars, so you want to think leaders are being smart with how they spend them. But that may not be the case. Coming up, Fox 45 News investigates. And for a second time in a week, a loaded gun has been confiscated at an area school. Coming up, the action lawmakers are taking to address juvenile crime. Evacuations underway in Gaza, how the White House is working to get Americans out of Israel as this war rages on. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Shannon Lilly. We begin with breaking news. Baltimore City Police say they've arrested a teenager in connection with last week's mass shooting at Morgan State University. The 17-year-old D.C. teen, who is not being named, was taken into custody overnight. He's now being brought back to Baltimore, where he'll be charged with multiple counts of attempted murder. Baltimore City Police also saying they're searching for a second person. Take a look right here at your screen. There's an attempted murder warrant out for 18-year-old Jovan Williams. Police say Williams is considered armed and dangerous. If you see him or know where he is, you are asked to call 911 right away. In a city in crisis, Fox 45 News is tracking how your tax dollars are being spent by the city. Receipts from Safe Streets show thousands of dollars spent on trips to LA, as well as shows and clothes. Olivia Dance has the story you're seeing first on Fox.
Well, this morning we're learning more details on how the city's flagship gun violence prevention program is spending taxpayer dollars. And Councilman Isaac Yitzi Schleifer is calling for an audit of Safe Streets, which is located just behind me here inside City Hall.
MONSE is a city agency. It is right here in City Hall, and so an agency like that should just be part of the agencies that are audited. We know it is taxpayer money, and so it doesn't matter, that it's going to a separate entity or a pass-through. It matters where the money's originating from, and the money's originating from the taxpayers' pockets.
So let's take a look at the numbers included in the hundreds of pages of documents obtained by Fox 45 News. The Sandtown Safe Streets location spending more than $5,000 in April at major shoe stores. Expenses necessary for community events, according to the receipts submitted to the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement, or MONSE. In 1 month, the Brooklyn Safe Streets site spent $1,100 at Shoe City and hundreds more at Forever 21, GameStop, Bath & Body Works, and Walmart. And then in June, employees from 3 locations flew to Los Angeles. The airfare, hotels, and hotel bar tab totaling $2,500 worth of American Rescue Plan money. The city also spending tens of thousands of dollars on staff training, but the public can't see who is getting that money, even though taxpayer dollars are paying for it. The names of who is doing the training for Safe Streets workers is redacted from those documents. MONSE is a city agency that is not regularly audited by the audit department, which is exactly why Councilman Schleifer is calling for MONSE to be looked at. Now, in order for MONSE to be audited, a 7-member commission, which actually includes Councilman Schleifer, would need to call on the city's auditor to do a probe. But other than Councilman Schleifer, the rest of the commission ignored Fox 45 News when we asked about that audit. For now, reporting outside City Hall, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45 News, Midday.
All right, Olivia, thank you. Fox 45 News has been demanding answers about Safe Streets and how it spends its money for more than a year. In April, Fox 45 News learned each Safe Streets location is allowed to have petty cash on hand, but it's not clear if there are receipts for that spending or policies on how it should be spent. Now, we've also reached out to the City Comptroller's office asking for the metrics used to determine how funds are dispersed for the Safe Streets program. A spokesperson for the Comptroller telling us his office does not have those metrics. Now, you may recall when he ran for office, Comptroller Bill Henry talked about expanding the audit process to include MONSE, but he never did. And that brings us to our question of the day. Should there be an independent audit of MONSE? So far, 97% of people who voted say yes. To make your voice heard, head to foxbaltimore.com/vote. Continuing our coverage on the war in Israel, the Gaza Strip is bracing for a possible ground invasion. Israel's military is now ordering some 1.1 million people in the northern part of Gaza to evacuate. UN officials say the order covers almost half of Gaza's 2.3 million people. The UN says it received the order late Thursday and that Israel gave civilians of northern Gaza 24 hours to flee to the south. The militant group in Gaza called Hamas has called on Palestinians to stay in their homes despite Israel's evacuation order. Meanwhile, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin is arriving in Israel today. You can see him there. He's met with Israeli leaders and underscores America's commitment to support them. This trip coming on the heels of U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arriving there yesterday and meeting with top Israeli diplomats. And the White House says it will begin to charter flights from Israel today. It's all in an effort to get Americans back home. But for the time being, White House National Security Council Coordinator John Kirby says no American troops are being sent to Israel.
There is no intention or plan to put American troops on the ground in Israel. There's no desire by the Israelis for that outcome.
Fox 45 News will continue to follow the developments in the Middle East. Stay up to date with our coverage by downloading the Fox 45 News app. Just search WBFF in your app store. Here's our look at today's top trending stories. Trending number one. For a second time in a week, a student has been caught at school with a loaded gun. In Baltimore City, a 15-year-old was taken into custody after bringing a loaded handgun to Joseph Briscoe Academy. And in Baltimore County, a student brought a loaded handgun to Sparrows Point High School. Next month, lawmakers will hold a hearing into juvenile crime. Fox 45 News will bring you complete coverage both on air and online. Trending number two, we're learning new details about plans to increase security at Morgan State University. Leaders say they will extend an existing barrier fence to go from enclosing 60% of the campus to 90%. Other upgrades include metal detectors, increasing police patrols, and more security guard booths. Trending number three. Loose pocket change could be to blame for a rise in car thefts. A new TikTok challenge has thieves using quarters to start and steal cars. Past challenges have used a USB cord to bypass the ignition, but new video shows quarters being used. Baltimore police say the new video is now on their radar. Download the Fox 45 News app for up-to-the-minute traffic conditions, breaking news, and weather anytime. Just search WBFF in your app store. Still ahead, we know pregnancy changes a person's body, and now there's more evidence it may alter a person's brain as well. Coming up, why researchers believe the change may be a permanent one. And another shakeup in the U.S. House. Steve Scalise is withdrawing his name from the Speaker's race, what it means for the party's confirmation vote. A third officer goes on trial today for the death of Elijah McClain. The split verdict a jury handed out to the previous officers charged.
Well, we are tracking another nice day for your Friday with temperatures that are closer to average. We are going to see rain and some cooler temperatures, especially as we head into the weekend. But overall, 71 for your high today. We'll drop to the mid-50s tonight, right back to the 60s tomorrow, but that's it. And we'll see some of those rain showers that will impact your Saturday afternoon and evening. We'll talk more about that coming up in your forecast.
Fox 45 News, winner of 16 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
Breaking news, the largest ever U.S. healthcare strike could soon be over. We've just learned union workers have reached a tentative deal with Kaiser Permanente to end the strike. The details of the deal were not immediately known, but the union had been seeking better pay and improved staffing levels. Taking a look now at your social stream. The trial begins today for a third officer charged in the death of Elijah McClain. 2 officers have already been tried. One was acquitted, the other convicted. Randy Rodema was convicted Thursday on homicide and assault charges. Prosecutors say he pinned the 23-year-old black man to the ground as paramedics injected him with an overdose of ketamine. Throughout the trial, his lawyers sought to pin the blame on the paramedics, but prosecutors say officers failed to follow proper protocol. Online people responding. Lorenzo here says, finally, some justice. Here's another one. I wish I could be happy, but I am not. Elijah should still be here. A bit of humanity in a moment of thought, and we would not be here. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise is withdrawing his name from the race for House Speaker. Scalise won the House GOP's nomination for Speaker over Representative Jim Jordan on Wednesday, but it became clear he still would not have the votes needed on the House floor. Scalise says he will continue in his role as House Majority Leader. He did not endorse another Speaker candidate. This user saying that the handwriting was on the wall already. And here's another one. Maybe he didn't want to go through the same humiliation McCarthy did by losing multiple times on the House floor. Taylor Swift cheers on Travis Kelce at last night's Chiefs game. The singer was spotted in the family suite next to Travis's mom, Donna Kelce. This is the 3rd time the singer has attended a game to see Kelce play in person. The Chiefs won 19-8. So good game for her to be there for. This person says every sports team needs a Taylor in their corner. I kind of agree with that, but not everyone is on board. Kyrie says it was funny the first time. Now it's just annoying. Tomorrow marks week 7 of college football around the nation, and that means we are gearing up for another sports-filled weekend. You can watch right here on Fox 45 at 10 a.m. on Saturday. You can catch Big Noon kickoff. Then at noon, Indiana heads to the Big House to take on Michigan. At 4 p.m., Iowa and Wisconsin kick off in Madison. To close out the night, UCLA goes head-to-head with Oregon State. Then stick around for Fox NFL kickoff on Sunday. It starts at 11 a.m. right here on Fox 45 at 1 p.m. Catch the San Francisco 49ers take on the Cleveland Browns in Ohio. Then at 4:25 p.m., you can watch the Philadelphia Eagles head to New York to go head-to-head with the Jets. Still ahead, did you know altitude affects our taste buds? Coming up, how one airline is serving up a new coffee brew specifically for in-flight enjoyment. But first, a possible breakthrough for those with peanut allergies. Coming up, how new therapies could lessen allergic reactions. It's 11:14. You're watching Fox 45 News Midday. We are back giving you a live look over Ravens Stadium, and we are tracking weekend rain, but the Ravens won't have to worry about it. The team is in London to take on the Tennessee Titans. Sunday kickoff is at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Whether it's college or pro, we want to see how you are cheering on your favorite team this season. Just scan that QR code there on your screen. It's going to take you to foxbaltimore.com/chime in. There you can upload your pictures and videos. This is all powered by Stackla. Making headlines, the newly released inflation report shows prices are staying relatively stable, but there are signs for concern. The good news is that core inflation, excluding transitory prices like those at the gas pump, has fallen considerably beginning in June. The bad news? The report shows inflation running at 3.7% compared to a year ago. That highlights the risk of inflation settling in at 3%, not the 2% rate targeted by the Federal Reserve. A health alert for you. More than 7 million Americans have gotten the updated COVID-19 vaccine so far. That's according to data from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The new Pfizer and Moderna jabs target multiple Omicron subvariants. With kids back in school, there's concern about food allergies, but a new study is looking at how oral therapies may help reduce an allergic reaction.
Get very tiny amounts slowly built up into their system, and we need to do it in our offices.
Doctors say of the kids who took part in the peanut study, 91% ended up being able to tolerate large amounts of peanuts without a severe reaction. Researchers believe this means those children may not have to worry about accidental peanut exposures.
They are at an ice cream shop and they, want to get ice cream, but as long as they avoid the peanut containing ones, they'll be able to tolerate small amounts of contamination.
That could be a big step forward. It's estimated 1 in every 13 children has a food allergy. Coming up on the Fox 45 News at 4, continuing coverage on the Morgan State University arrest, the latest on the search for more suspects as we press the mayor on the juvenile crime crisis. Then at 5, hundreds of stolen cars are sitting in city impound lots, asking what police are doing to reconnect people with their vehicles as thousands are stolen. And at 6, another life lost to the crime crisis in Baltimore. The calls for change during a Howard County Sheriff's deputy's funeral. You can get Fox 45 News in a flash through your Amazon Alexa or Echo. We now deliver your local headlines and your forecast in less than 2 minutes. If you have an Amazon device, just tell it to enable Fox 45 Baltimore. Trending now, a special coffee meant just to drink on a plane. Alaska Airlines says it will start serving a specially made blend of beans that was created to taste smoother while flying. The airline says taste buds respond differently at a 30,000 feet altitude. According to the company, the reaction can make food and drinks taste different. The custom coffee will start rolling out on the airline's flights starting December 1st. Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle is here now. This is so interesting to me. I would have never guessed that food tastes different, drinks taste different when you're at a high altitude, but it kind of makes sense because when you're on a plane, I feel like things always taste a little bit weird. I don't know if it's the food we're getting. I don't know what it is, but...
Yeah. Shout out to Alaska Airlines because, we haven't been talking about airlines and food and that kind of stuff. Just getting there was the main focus.
True.
So this is like, okay, I've never thought about it before.
I'm excited to try it.
Right, you look forward to let me try it on there, and it's great because, oh my God, I'm at that age where this kind of stuff we'll be talking about at the barbershop and beauty shop forever. Oh, I tasted that. Your taste buds taste different on there. It's gonna be a whole thing. They just introduced the whole thing, so.
And for them to make that step forward, I'm excited. Any kind of new coffee thing, I'm down to try it, especially with our schedule, waking up so early. And
when you're flying, I like to drown out the coffee taste with the liquor, so this is just add
I wonder
to
if
that.
that tastes different then.
You know what I mean? So, I'll let you know the next time I fly Alaska Airlines, too.
Keep us posted. Keep us posted. Thanks, Mark. All right, well, if you're flying right now, there is wild weather to our south. As meteorologist Justin Chambers shows us, a tornado was caught on camera in Florida.
Yeah, this is amazing video from a couple of nights ago in Florida where we had some severe weather that was rolling through. You can actually see it's a little dark, but you can see that funnel cloud that is definitely kind of moving through there at this time, or at the time that the video was taken. You can kind of see those clouds out there. So that's severe weather. Even though we're into autumn, we typically don't see severe weather, but sometimes you can get those storms that fire up, and that's exactly what they saw in Florida. 67 here by noon. We'll be in the lower 70s in that 1 and 2 o'clock hour for a lot of us, and the average this time of year is right about 70 degrees, so pretty close to that number. In fact, we should top out right about 71, and partly cloudy skies, mild, maybe a bit breezy at times later into the afternoon. Overall, that sun will be up until 6:31 tonight. So check in your high temperatures across Carroll and Baltimore counties, mid to upper 60s for Westminster and the Hereford zone, over to Cockeysville, 67 Perry Hall and White Marsh, 71 in Baltimore City down through Dundalk for the afternoon. Howard and Anne Arundel counties also in the upper 60s here. Glen Burnie, Pasadena down through Severna Park, Annapolis at 68 for your high this afternoon. And up and down the 95 corridor, if you're maybe heading down the ocean, 65 there, mid 60s in Philly, right about 70 in D.C. Look how warm it is. Charleston, West Virginia, Roanoke, almost 80 degrees for this afternoon. So here's a look at our future scan. Staying nice and dry today. Our next weather maker coming in from the west, you're going to see that develop here early tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon, the heaviest rain will be here, and even especially into Saturday night. That's when we'll have a pretty good amount of rain. Sunday, that low slides off to the east, but still on the backside of that will bring a little bit more of that cloud cover and some light showers Sunday morning. But Sunday afternoon actually looks to clear out here as we get later into Sunday and Monday. We'll still see some clouds hanging around, but the rain should be done. So we'll see those temps in the 70s today, back to the mid 60s tomorrow, only about 60 on Sunday. Then those numbers do start climbing next week and into next weekend as well.
All right, thanks, Justin. Still ahead, Uber is rolling out a new feature, how you can get 2 deliveries but only pay for 1 delivery fee. But first, movie theaters are relaxing etiquette rules for Swifties. Coming up, how fans are being encouraged to sing along. It's 11:22. You're watching Fox 45 News Midday. Don't miss this. Multiple movie chains are relaxing theater rules so fans can dance and sing along at Taylor Swift's new Eras Tour film. AMC is encouraging Swifties to have fun, saying dancing, singing, and costumes, they're all welcome at the show. The movie chain also saying friendship bracelets are strongly encouraged. Unlimited plans for some T-Mobile customers may be getting more expensive. A report says customers of the carrier's older plans, such as One, Simple Choice, Magenta, and Magenta 55 Plus, will be moved to newer plans starting in the November billing cycle. The report says customers affected will pay between $5 to $10 more per line. Electric vehicle sales hit a record high in the United States last quarter. According to a report from Cox Automotive, EV sales in the U.S. increased to more than 313,000 in the third quarter of 2023. That's over 49% more than last year, and it was an increase from 298,000 in quarter two. That brought the year-to-date sales through September to more than 873,000. Time now for your lunch break. If you're indecisive about what food you want delivered, Uber Eats is making ordering from two places at once even easier for users. The company is rolling out a new feature called multi-store ordering. Users can now add an additional order from a nearby restaurant, convenience shop, or liquor store without having to pay an extra delivery fee. Just make it so easy for us. That's what we like. All right, that's all the time we have for Fox 45 News Midday. Be More Lifestyle's up next, and Mark Clark is back with a preview. Hey, Mark.
This theme must be taste today. Beer is the world's most widely consumed beverages, but as the world gets hotter, it may not taste the same. Coming up, how global warming could impact the taste of beer. Stick around. Be More Lifestyles next.
You're watching Fox 45 in Baltimore. Now live from TV Hill, this is Be More Lifestyle.
What's up, Baltimore? I'm Mark Clark, and this is Be More Lifestyle live from Studio A at Fox Baltimore. Lady T is here, along with Pastor Robert Turner from Empowerment Temple. Good morning, everybody. Let me tell you,
Good morning.
now.
Happy Friday, y'all.
Now, Halloween is right around the corner, and with it comes some pretty scary things like haunted houses. But for some, today is even more frightening. That's because it's Friday the 13th.
Oh, okay.
The history behind the day may come from the book Friday the 13th, but it came before. It became even more popular in the Friday the 13th horror film. So, are you excited or nervous about that? Let's start with the pastor. So,
hey,
Friday
pastor.
the 13th, I'm sure, is this a thing or not a thing, even in your world?
I'm tell people being who I am, life is scary enough.
You don't need to add on to it.
I don't need
It's
any added drama of fear or frightening things. No.
Lady T, what about you now? Do you notice Friday the 13th?
Oh yeah, like Caribbean people are very superstitious people. Okay,
Yeah.
so like Caribbean people are very superstitious. We don't like stuff like this. I'm scared. Keep all black cats away from me. But what's crazy is my sister and my brothers want to go to a haunted house today. And I just feel like on Friday the 13th, you're just asking for it. At this point. You asking for the devil to run up in your life in this one, right? Like it's a little much. I don't know, y'all. I'm a little scared.
I'm okay with it, but I'm okay with it, but I don't play with it. Okay?
You don't play with it. Hey, don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it.
I don't add anything to it. Like I was just talking to someone.
But you're superstitious though?
No. I'm
so
not
you don't get nervous when like black cats run up on you? I fight black cats when they run up on me. I don't like it. I be like, shh.
Now we want you to tell it. Are you superstitious? Go on our website, foxbaltimore.com/vote. When you get to the website, make sure you click on the lifestyle tab. You can also vote on our Fox 45 News app. At the end of the show, we'll see what everybody thinks. Don't be beating up on a pastor now. Beer is one of the world's most widely consumed beverages, but as the world gets hotter, it may not taste the same. Scientists are warning that global warming is causing hops to ripen sooner, and the IPA lovers of the world, that means they are starting to lose their critical bitter components. Now, once again, I know Reverend's like, what is going on with this show? We're talking about the beer, talking about the
devil. We sinning today. It's a bunch of sinners out here today.
Reverend never had a beer in his life, I'm sure. But Lady T, you haven't had a few cervezas.
Wait a minute, okay.
You've had a few cervezas in your life. Are you concerned about this? So modern cerveza.
Start with the pastor.
Before you were saved, Rev,
Before you were saved.
I can say, I can speak even now, as long as it doesn't impact communion juice.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, as long as that communion juice be hitting though. It really does hit. When you let it ripen in your car, when you let it sit in your car for a little bit. Oh my God.
Wait a minute, you didn't know what you're talking about. Lady.
Yes, because you bring the juice from the
Morgan David.
Trader
That's
Joe's,
all the Rev knows.
and you
Morgan
just
David.
that's all.
Lady T, what about beer? Are you a beer drinker?
So I don't drink beer as often here. Well, wait, I do drink cider. Somebody put me on the cider. I like cider a little bit better, but I'm a wine drinker. But I feel like the bitter taste, I can't deal with it. So if it's getting rid of it, bye. Bye. Deuces.
Now, I drink a lot of alcohol on TV every morning.
Hey, you do. He does. You be getting lit.
Party goes on.
He always gets lit.
I just had some hops the other day, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Pregnancy changes a person's body, and now there's more evidence it may also alter a person's
wait a minute.
and do so permanently. Researchers looked at mice and found pregnancy rewired their brains to help the mice care for and focus on the young. Researchers think it's a sign of what happens in humans as well. So again, I will say, after the baby, it does kind of put mom in the super mom mode.
Yeah, because they have what do they call pregnancy brain? They call it a pregnancy brain. Because you forget it, you go into like a fog, you get like kind of like dazed, and everything just kind of goes away. Their memory is not as great.
But then I think also that care thing kicks in. I think you went from being concerned about yourself to like moms caring about the whole world. So Rev, you probably have to counsel a lot of people. That's probably pretty real. I know, and I've been along a long time, so I've seen the thing when the mom took care of everything. Yeah. Then at the end of the life is tired. Like, I'm tired of y'all.
He's like, I'm tired.
So, Rev, is that a real thing? You see what mothers overwhelmed?
It's a very real thing. It's a transformation, not just in the body, but in the mind.
Now, wait a minute now, Rev. Don't put that southern you put that little thing on us. Go ahead.
He slid through with it.
Go ahead, Rev. Go ahead. The transformation, the body, the mind.
It is, and really, it impacts your soul because it changes who you are as a person. You become a more nurturing individual, and the father too. Yeah. Because you see something. I saw both my boys born, and I would never forget. The transformation that both my wife and I went through.
You saw? Did you pull them out? You saw them be born. You cut the cord. Oh, but you didn't pull them out. You didn't Kourtney Kardashian.
You ain't pulling that. Come on, ladies.
You gotta go hard in the paint, Pastor. You gotta just get in there. You
don't want the rib. You didn't want the rib down there like Blue 19, 18 Razor.
No,
Razor coming up later. We'll see you later in the show.
It's good meeting you.
Still ahead, the NFL has a new sponsor. How Toyota is getting in on the game. And if you're going to be outside watching the game, don't let your allergies slow you down. Coming up, the new way to keep them at bay. Is that a thing?
Yes.
Okay, stick around. We got.
You're watching Be More Lifestyle.
The leaves may be falling, but ragweed is through the roof. If your sinuses are going crazy, Genevieve Goder has a solution to freshen and clean the air around you in today's America Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Knocking.
The space we live in is so important to all of us, and that really starts with the base of a healthy, clean home, including the air that we breathe. And there are so many pollutants that can affect the air inside of our homes, from our pets, dust, allergens. What's the solution? Here's one. This is the Clean Light Air. It's super compact, easy to use. It even fits in the cup holder of your car. It's an air filter that can remove up to 99.9% of particles you don't want in your house, like smoke, odors, pet dander, air pollution. And this thing is small, but really mighty. It can purify up to 161 square feet at a time. So think about it in your office, your kid's dorm room, for a small bedroom. So many people love using these in the kitchen while they're cooking. Even if you've never thought about the air quality in your space before, you will absolutely feel the difference right away with this product. Place them anywhere your pet hangs out, or when you're going somewhere running errands, put it in your car. It's super quiet. It's super easy to use. And another thing I love, you can charge your devices at the same time. There's a USB port. Add your favorite essential oil to the sponge inside so the air will not only be clean, it will smell great. And today we're offering a 2-for-1, both of these for the price of less than you normally pay for just one. Take advantage of this deal. Go to asadeals.com.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Toyota.
Toyota and the National Football League jointly announced they've entered into a multi-year sponsorship agreement designating Toyota as the official automotive partner of the NFL. Now, joining us from Toyota's North American headquarters in Plano, Texas, is Tracy Rodberg, the Senior Vice President of Sponsorship Management from the NFL, and Jack Hollis, the Executive Vice President of Sales at Toyota Motors North America. Welcome, team. How are you?
Thank you for having us. We're great.
Great. Good to be with you.
So tell me,
exciting day for us.
Definitely. So why did Toyota decide to become the official automotive partner of the NFL?
Because we could become the official automotive partner of the NFL. That's why. It's pretty simple, to be honest with you. But it's actually just a great marriage between the most powerful brand in automotive, the most powerful brand in sports globally for both of us. And you put those kind of opportunities to put two powerhouses together and you get to create a power team.
So tell us about the exciting start to the season from many perspectives and why partnering with Toyota benefits everyone.
It's about partnering with the right brand. And really, both of our brands, we have the same kind of strategic focus and the same care for their customers and our fans, and then the same drive to continue to grow and improve. What they bring is the 1,200 plus dealers in the local community and the grassroots. That's where our fans are. And we have 32 clubs. They have 1,200. So this is just going to be a fantastic way for us to both build our brands, continue to build our brands together.
Hey, it's an amazing partnership. Where can our viewers go for more information about this marriage?
Well, you can probably hit it on Toyota.com and NFL.com. They both have it. But I would also tell you is I think from kind of going back on the marriage here, I think it's going to be interesting for every one of the people watching this, for everybody that you know, is to see two power brands. But what are they for? It's really for the end guest. And I kind of want to just make sure it's really clear. Those 1,200 dealerships who I'm proud of, I love representing our dealers because they're giving back to the community all the time. So any consumer can also learn from each of those 1,200 dealerships and getting more information. So there's almost, there's plentiful ways to learn more about this.
Yeah, and there's going to be so much more to come. I mean, this is day one of our partnership.
Come on.
And we've already been working closely behind the scenes with our teams together so that we can come out in an authentic way to continue to market both our brands. So you'll see it through our entire calendar. You'll see it through this season now that we've started immediately. And you'll see it through Super Bowl and on and on and on.
Well, guys, thanks so much for this great information. You've been amazing.
Sure, we're happy to chat.
Thanks so much.
All right, guys, take care. Still ahead, transforming your bedroom into a sleep time oasis. Coming up, some tips for keeping things tidy and organized. But first, the local minister is bringing attention to an important cause and many other things. Coming up on Be More.
This is Be More Lifestyle.
Reverend Dr. Robert Turner, senior pastor of Baltimore's Empowerment Temple, is a man on a mission. Pastor Turner is walking in the name of a cause that's very important to him. Welcome to the show, Doc. How are you?
I'm well. How about yourself?
So good, man. So tell me about this walk you've been doing.
Well, it's 42.9. Carroll Park on Route 1. I end up at the White House, and
wow.
I carry my sign, Reparations Now, and I have a wreath of 400 roses that I lay at the fence of the White House, and I pray and I read scripture, and it's the purpose of it is to really try to promote more racial healing along the lines of reparations and equity for black people that have not been given anything so far. And so I've done it now 13 times. I did 12 to the White House and once from Selma to Montgomery. So I walked almost 600 miles on my feet.
Now this is in your blood. I mean, you came from Tulsa, home of Black Wall Street. So you've grown up with the cause and the history. And so how's it different being here in Baltimore? You've been here for about, I guess, almost 2 years?
Born and raised in Tuskegee, then left Alabama to go to Tulsa. And so, yeah, absolutely in my blood. I was born in John Andrew Hospital, the same hospital where the Tuskegee syphilis study was done.
Wow, wow.
I went to University of Alabama where George Wallace stood in the schoolhouse door. Rosa Parks from Tuskegee, you know, Montgomery bus boycott, they walked 366 days.
That's crazy.
So yes, it is in my
You like
blood.
have a historic, and then Baltimore has such one of the oldest cities in the country.
Yes.
You talk about
Henrietta Lacks, Thurgood Marshall.
So you're a history baby, man.
I love it, yes, it is. And I was born in college.
And so by doing the walk, you want to not only just raise awareness, but and bring attention to it. You really want it to happen.
Yes, I do.
Any movement? Do you feel like there's any movement?
I have. I've met with a lot of elected officials in Congress who are very sympathetic to the cause and really just right now trying to get the president to pay more attention to that issue and do an executive order of sorts and bring some relief to the generations and decades of horror, over 400 years of suffering we've endured in this nation.
Wow, and so also, you know, we're talking about reparations. Let's talk about, I mean, you came to Empowerment Temple, a very prosperous church, in some ways controversial.
Yeah.
Talk to us about, you know, the fresh eyes on Baltimore. What are Baltimore people like? And what's the congregation?
Great crab cakes. And Baltimore is a city that I've grown to love. It was different from any other place I've ever lived. And I must say, I admire the resilience and the grit of the city and the people who live here. I mean, I love the Orioles and just how you have a team with like no major free agency signing, but they still made it to the playoffs. They just took the tools they had and produced a playoff contender, right?
Much like Baltimore.
Much like Baltimore, right? And so I just love the culture of the city and the church. Very resilient congregation who loves God first and foremost. And loves people, and I'm thankful that they kind of have adopted me as their little son, a big brother, whatever, depending on who you talk to. And I'm just grateful, and I'm thankful. And we meet every Sunday, and every time we meet, God shows up, and it's a fantastic time.
And also, you got a book going?
Yes.
What's going on? Talk to us about the book as we wrap it up.
Creating a Culture of Repair is the longest list of reparatory ideas in the world, over 100 ways of giving repair. So people always talk about, well, what do you mean by reparations and what do you think? And they have misnomers about it. It's so much more than just a check. I mean, it does include things like that. Dr. King mentioned promissory note, marked insufficient funds, but it's so many ways we can do something just to help out and bring more racial healing and justice to this land that I love, America.
And so, you know, with the fresh eyes coming to the city, we'll wrap things up now, but what does Baltimore need? What do you think the people need? Because a lot of times we comment on what we don't have, but what do you think we need?
I think that Baltimore is a city that has produced what it needs. It is a resilient city, right? So if it needs hope, it gives itself hope, right? If it needs some love, it gives itself love. I think what we need to recognize, though, oftentimes, is those places that we have received it and who produces it, and seek those out and embrace that.
We have to wrap up. Rev, how can people follow you?
Instagram, Rev Dr. Robert Turner. Twitter, Robert R.A. Turner 1. Robert Turner Ministries. R comes to the most powerful place on the planet, 4217 Primrose Avenue.
All right, appreciate you joining us. Proud of you, okay?
Thank you, thank you.
All right, now to check your weather, meteorologist Justin Chambers is standing by. What's up, Justin?
Well, really pretty shot here. We always see some great shots online. This is of a nice rainbow in parts of Nebraska, of course, after the storm rolls through. And when you get some moisture in the air, we love seeing those pictures. Or you can always post your pictures, too. Chime in on our website, foxbaltimore.com/chime in. We'd love to have your pictures. Another nice day expected for Friday, but temperatures will be closer to average for the afternoon. We are tracking rainy conditions and cooler temperatures as we head into the weekend. So overall, in your hour-by-hour forecast, Upper 60s and lower 70s here through the 2 and 3 o'clock hour. Typically right about 70 is where we are for this time of year. So we'll be a few degrees cooler than yesterday, but overall partly cloudy and mild with those numbers closer to the average high. And Carlos the Crab, yeah, we got a 5 on the Crabcast for today. I think he's going to be a happy crab, and I think we all will be as well as we head outside, because tomorrow, not the best day to be outdoors just because that rain's rolling in. Here's a look at your high temps. Mid-60s for Westminster and Bel Air over to Cockeysville. 71 in Baltimore City, 67 in Annapolis, Eastern Shore, mid to upper 60s as well. Up and down the 95 corridor, temps looking pretty good with 60s for New York and Philly and lower 70s for Baltimore down through D.C., mid 60s in Ocean City, a little warmer down in Richmond. So here's a look at our future scan. Staying dry for this afternoon and into the evening time. You're going to wake up with cloud cover tomorrow, and you'll see those showers midday into the early part of the afternoon. Heaviest rain looks to be between about 3 and 6 p.m. Even some more heavier showers possible late Saturday night into Sunday as that low kind of slides off toward the east. We'll have some leftover moisture, a lot of cloud cover around, and that northerly wind on Sunday. But by Sunday afternoon, the rain should be done, and we're a little bit drier early next week. Here's that 10-day forecast for you. After 71 today, only 64 Saturday, only 60 on Sunday. That's going to be the coolest day by far. And you can see those numbers steadily start climbing into Wednesday and Thursday, even back to the lower 70s by next weekend.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by IKEA Baltimore.
I'm here with Lori at IKEA Baltimore to talk about the room that really makes a house a home. And Lori, why is it so important to keep things tidy and organized here in the bedroom?
In the bedroom, it is so important that we create a true retreat, a place where we can relax, unwind, and really kind of prepare for a really restful night's sleep. Storage is of the utmost importance, especially in small space living. Here, we are featuring a room set that is actually a row home near our Patterson Park area. So this individual is living single, and she really needs to maximize storage in this very small space.
And you mentioned that. I mean, IKEA is known for having great storage devices. Can you talk to us about that?
Absolutely. Here we have in our wardrobe, which, by the way, wardrobes are fantastic for row homes because we know the limited space that they have. There's very little closet space, right? So these wardrobes are fantastic. You can utilize them anywhere in the room, and you can add additional organizers inside to really maximize the space within the wardrobe. You can also go vertical with your storage, especially in small spaces. You need to be able to put things on top and get them just out of reach until you need them.
So let's look at some other storage solutions in the room.
Yeah, let's do that. So you really should take advantage of storage under the bed, especially in small spaces. And IKEA actually offers drawer organizers underneath here. So we can actually pull this entire thing out. It's on casters. You can stow away clothing that's out of season, or you can stow away additional linens for the bed.
Perfect.
We have some interior drawer organizers. We want to be able to keep things separated so it's easy to reach for, and you can add additional organizers inside. Another great option in small rooms, again, is to go vertical. We have open shelving here where we can utilize for book storage or just decorating and giving a really nice feel to the room. Instead of adding a bookcase to the space, we have our books right here. We also have a desk that is multifunctional. It's makeup by morning and journaling by night. And in small spaces, sometimes you need to have things that just tuck away. We have this rolling cart that can move anywhere in the room for this young lady's needs.
It's amazing. So many great ideas to manage small spaces. Where can our viewers go to get more information?
Yeah, you can visit IKEA.com, or you can come visit the IKEA Baltimore store.
Great information, Lori. Thank you for inviting us here. You too should visit IKEA Baltimore to see how your new bedroom could look. Still ahead, it's Friday the 13th. Are you superstitious? Coming up, your take on the